Yep.
And then should I teach the melody or should I just say we're going to start with that breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and then I'm going to come in with the melody and you join me as recognize it?
Good morning. Welcome to First Parish in Milton's live stream Zoom worship. Who are in this place today is Tim Steele, you just heard him play, our music director. Eric Miller, our video and audio engineer. Myself, Reverend Lisa Ward. And today we have Hunsker soloist Peter Smith, who is up way far away in the choir loft. You'll see him later. So let's gather in this beautiful day this morning. Let the sun warm you. Let the breeze soothe you. Let the bird's song delight you. Let us also gather in and bring up all the depth of our feelings and soul's longing for Spirit to enfold us in this time of worship together. It is good to be with one another in place and cyberspace. Come, let us be together. Our opening hymn today is the meditation on breathing, which many of you already know. We're going to sing through two of the parts. We're going to start with the bass line and let that, it's just a one note that is a bass line. And I invite any of you that wants to just keep singing the bass line through this whole time to do it. Feel free. I will then come in with the melody. We'll sing the melody through 3 times. Join either part, however you want to do it. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. And as I light our chalice, let us say our call to worship together. Come, let us gather. We gather to celebrate the sacred within and among us. We come to seek spiritual growth and understanding. We strive to practice acceptance, forgiveness, and love. Together, we work to build a world with justice and compassion. Come, let us gather together. And now a story by our Director of Religious Exploration, Laurel Whitehouse.
Today would have been the coming of age service, celebrating those youth who have undertaken the exploration of life's big questions, ways to find comfort and resilience, and a greater understanding of their own beliefs at this time in their lives. The Coming of Age program began last September with an opening worship service for the youth and their parents. And during that service, we captured hopes and wishes for things that the participants would experience and wishes for things that would help guide them and enrich their lives. And those hopes and wishes have been hanging on this little tree ever since September. And so I thought I would read them to you today, since we're not hearing from our youth at this point. So the hopes and wishes were pondering the possibilities. Hope, strength and wisdom. Learn more about my faith identity. Something. I think that's my personal favorite, something. It's so you, right? That principle 4, individual search for truth and meaning, not going to bound it, not going to set expectations, just something. I'm hoping for something. Encouragement and support, deepening, the joy of being who you are, the opportunity, but the meaning of it all, become more confident in who I am, wisdom, peace, solitude, and compassion for one another, to understand the ways Unitarian Universalism ties into the world around me and my own personal life, connection and deepening, meet new people, to learn the interests and hopes of this group, hope to gain a connection between ethics and action, the strength of a group in having an impact, to better understand how to combat the denial of facts and hate in the world, helping to find myself, greater understanding of one's beliefs, finding joy in being in this community, good development, creating a path for me to follow, warm, loving support while wrestling with difficult questions in fearless ways, a way to find my own God and what religion or beliefs could help me be a better person, an understanding of one's place in the world around us, and finding joy in your own spirituality. So although the Coming of Age program is on hold until we can gather together in person, the hopes and wishes I read and are on this little tree have been flowering within the group already. The Coming of Age year is much like embarking on a canoe trip down the river. The youth and mentors are not taking a physical journey, but it symbolizes the spiritual journey each youth takes. Parents wave goodbye from the shore as their youth and mentor embark in the canoe. They set off down, they learn together, they negotiate to navigate, set their course, make adjustments, they invest effort, they explore, and they bond together. All the canoes have the same general goal, but ultimately each youth chooses their own direction and speed. The wake of their progress can be seen, and the distance they've traveled can be measured, but not the effect in their hearts.
What a fullness of ideas, nourishing ideas, and hopeful possibilities. Let's take a moment to have stillness with one another. And today I thought we could give ourselves and the larger community a hug. We've done this once before. If you could just lift your arms up as is comfortable, let them go out to the side and wrap your arms in and give a hug to yourself, to whomever you want to give a hug to. Breathe in and then release. And let us have some stillness. Blessings be. And now Pat Neves, Worship Associate, will share a reading.
Good morning, everyone. Our reading this morning is a prayer by Joan Borisenko. May respect crowd out the weed of violence and community spring from the ashes of isolation. May the stories of our grandmothers and grandfathers once again nourish the growing souls of our children. May we see the divine in one another and in nature, that the earth may be healed and all her children have an abundance of food, freedom, and loving kindness as we give willingly and with heartfelt joy to one another. May the music of shared laughter replace cries of suffering as the great tree of peace takes root in every heart. May we offer a renewed and resurrected world to the Creator with infinite gratitude and thanksgiving.
May respect crowd out the weed of violence and community spring from the ashes of isolation, writes Joan Borisenko. There's so much that we're learning these days about ourselves, our communities, our world choices. There's so much that we can notice about how we function together locally and globally. There's so much to notice about how we cope with our lives. It's hard because every day gives us challenges that are sometimes seem too hard to bear, too much to bear, or too many to count. Sometimes we need respite from the larger noticing, from paying attention. But if we keep in touch with our longing for a healthier way, for more supportive systems, for a value of shared being for all, we'll reach out of this time in different ways, and we will shed old assumptions of worth. There are ways of being we can discard with this noticing, and ways of being we can encourage and co-create. Now, this means we have to hone our attentiveness. We have to train ourselves and trust our ability to pay attention. Train ourselves and trust the wisdom of our soul's longing for wholeness and harmony and justice and love. When we choose to pay attention, we're open to the learning and are willing to participate. This doesn't mean just noticing what's wrong with things. It also means noticing what's right. What diminishes us and what feeds us. What rings true and what clangs falsehood. What changes feel more harmonious? What busyness makes less sense? We have to pay attention to the love which is pouring out through our grief these days, and to cherishing life, which calls for responsible choices and giving in to what is needed even when it's uncomfortable. None of this is easy, and none of us will be perfect at it. But all of it is speaking to humanity and the next steps we might take. We're in a really rough patch now. Lots of news of deaths. It does remind me of the 1980s, which I've talked to you before, when I lived in New York City in the midst of the AIDS crisis. We hadn't yet figured out how people were infected and why people were dying at such an alarming rate, though they were, over and over and over again. Many friends inexplicably gone. I was in my 20s. It's this tumbling of reality that you can't stop, but somehow have to stay balanced in. So we did a lot of noticing. Noticing love and care and sun and laughter. Noticing that we're doing the best we can and that we haven't a clue when it's going to be over. Noticing that working together is the way through and honoring life the way towards strength. Noticing that changes should come from this, not only to honor life, but also to honor those who have died, to remember them well, to hold their presence in our living. And a lot of advocacy and activism did rise from this noticing, just like what's happening now. Last Friday, May Day, many of you probably know there were virtual rallies and strikes to stand by essential workers and their need for safety measures, fair wages, corporate support. They lifted up loud and clear that they've become the unexpected frontline workers of the pandemic. Pay attention, they were saying, to how our civic and economic systems work, unfairly burdening those who are the backbone of the economy. One sign read, "Money comes and goes, but health is irreplaceable." Many of these workers who are helping many of us stay healthy and alive are struggling to cover the basics like food, medicine, and rent. There are even some who don't have a safe place to stay. Wonderful endeavors can come from paying attention. Courageous conversations toward racial justice here in Milton and surrounding neighborhoods, along with Milton Interfaith Clergy Association, are collaborating to gather resources to support lower income essential workers and residents of Milton, Mattapan, Dorchester, and Hyde Park who are adversely impacted by the COVID-19 crisis. We are seeking housing for those who want or need it to isolate away, perhaps from their existing housing in the midst of this pandemic. We are seeking ways to support essential workers. And we're moving step by step, paying attention to successful initiatives that are up and running and to local needs. It's a wonder to be working together in this way. We hope a true shape to this initiative can be shared very soon. There's so much possibility. I want to share my weekly resident theologian contribution. Of course, we are all resident theologians. This is a reading that was sent to me by Sonia Renee Taylor. We will not go back to normal. Normal never was. Our pre-corona existence was not normal other than we normalized greed, inequity, exhaustion, depletion, extraction, disconnection, confusion, rage, hoarding, hate, and lack. We should not long to return, my friends, she writes. We're being given the opportunity to stitch a new garment, one that fits all of humanity and nature. What we have been forced to leave behind, we needed to leave behind. What is getting us through is what we will need to take forward. All the rest is up to us, she writes. So let us take notice what we need to take forward. Let us choose to pay attention to our wisdom toward wholeness. Let us notice gestures of love and kindness. Let us be aware of our relational power, how we can heal and how we can harm. Let us find moments where we cherish life. Let us find solace in helping one another. It's time to train ourselves to a new way of being with one another. It simply takes the choice and follow through. Choose life. Choose love. Choose possibility. Stay safe. Be well. Amen.
My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far-off song that hails a new creation. No storm can shake my inmost calm. I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roars? I know the truth it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm. I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? How can I keep from singing? From singing, singing.
In the spirit of prayer. Holy essence of life that is in all things, that we cannot completely know, but feel deep in our souls. Help us pay attention to what will bring us through, to strength and harmony and justice and celebration of life, this gift we have been given. Help us also with the strength we need in these times of loss and deep change, in the fear of transformation and isolation. Help us know the strength we have within that includes reaching out when we need. May we practice assurance of one another, patience and forgiveness in these times of stress, and openness to love, deeper and wider than we usually allow, openness to love. It abides. And we lift up prayers to all the frontline workers and essential workers, to parents and children and families sheltered in, to people who are isolated in nursing homes and senior homes, to families who want to reach out to other family members but cannot physically be there. Let us enfold all of this in love, deep and abiding love. Let us know each other in this love. For all the prayers lifted up but unspoken, may we center them also in love. Amen. Today's offering will go to the Louis D. Brown Institute, a center of healing, teaching, and learning for families and communities impacted by murder, grief, trauma, and loss. Every year there's a Mother's Day Walk for Peace. It's a beloved Boston and First Parish in Milton tradition and celebration of our potential to create more peaceful communities. This year, there'll be a virtual walk, as has been described in our Thursday news link. We will resend the information for the walk early this week. But now, please text 617-539-7576 to support this very important work. You simply need to put down the amount you want to give, and you'll get instructions as to what can happen next. And with this virtual offering plate, let's say our unison dedication together. May these gifts be transformed into strength for this faith community, into comfort, food, and shelter for those in need. And may we be transformed by generosity. Our closing hymn is Go Lifted Up. Tim will play it through all the way once, and then we'll sing it through twice. brightness of day. Oh, lifted up, love bless your way. Light, starlight, guide our journey into peace and the brightness of And as I extinguish the flame of our chalice, may the flame of our faith burn deep and wide within us. May we have the strength to take notice of how we can change our lives, support our lives, and cherish one another, all in a justice-centered community. Love, compassion, and peace. Have a good week. Amen.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hey, welcome. This morning, welcome to any newcomers and everybody.